Alright, today's video is titled Why I Want to Be Iron Man. But in order to tell that story, I need to build something. So let's get the stuff to do that. These are retractable cardboard Buzz Lightyear wings. They come inside. So why did I show you Buzz Lightyear wings made out of cardboard? Isn't this supposed to be a serious YouTube channel about making and engineering real Iron Man shit? Well, the short answer is yes. It is about making those things. But the reason for why I'm making these things is explained by that. You see, I don't have any pictures of the first time I made those Buzz Lightyear wings, but I remember making them. In fact, it's one of my earliest memories. One of my earliest memories is making cardboard Buzz Lightyear wings. And it was these wings in particular. It was almost exactly done like this, minus the fact that there was little curled up pieces of toilet paper that were then glued on to make like padding for this, which I just didn't feel like doing this time. But other than that, I mean, it was exactly down to the marker going on here and everything, and the string that caused them to retract. In fact, it was weird making this because it reminded me of building those, and I was like having flashbacks to some of my earliest childhood memories by building this thing right here. This is like the real Mark one right here. The point of building that thing was to demonstrate something, because I don't have any pictures of that thing, and I don't have any video of it, and it was so long ago. I was like literally 5, maybe younger when I made it. I built a lot of stuff. So here's the thing about Iron Man. The thing is I've always had this kind of fascination with super suits. Like when I was young, it was like Buzz Lightyear. It was this one scene from Buzz Lightyear 2 where he's flying in. And he comes in, it was really cool. He comes in, he like shoots his laser all over the place, and he's got these wings, and I'm like, that's so cool, I want to do that. And so then I saw it, and then I built the wings, and I made them so I could pretend to be Buzz Lightyear. And that was awesome. And then when I was in high school, I was like super, like from like middle school, I got really obsessed with Halo and Master Chief and the Mirror armor. But my mom wouldn't let me play the game. My mom wouldn't let me play that game because it was too violent. So I had to. So I remember playing that game at my friend's house and like having to sneak it and not being able, having to sneak and play it for the first time. I remember playing it for the first time. I thought it was awesome. I remember killing grunts and I thought it was so cool. And so I got obsessed with kind of like mirror armor for a while. And I was making in high school I had this giant huge piece of clay that I was carving into a Master Chief helmet that I was then gonna cast in resin and build, and I was gonna make a costume, but I never finished it. So when I was younger, I like bounced around. I did lots of different little projects. I started a bunch of stuff, and I didn't really finish a whole lot of stuff because I hadn't really found that one thing that just consumed me. And then I didn't do that great in school, not because I wasn't smart, but because I didn't give a shit about school. Like I saw all these dumb people getting good grades. I'm like, why would I care? Why would I try to get good grades? Because dumb people can get good grades. It doesn't mean anything. So I did that, and then I got talked in that I into like going to college. It was my parents, and they wanted what was for best for me. They wanted me to get a job. They wanted me to go to school. I talked to a family friend. He wanted me to go to school, and I went to school, and I had shit grades. Like I literally, most people with my grades dropped out of school. I dropped out like I think 12th from the bottom of my class of like 500 people. Like I did shit in high school, like terrible grades. I got smart. I took some AP classes, and I learned a bunch of shit, but I had terrible grades until like my last couple semesters. I tried, and then I actually had better grades. But anyway, I went to community college. I busted my ass. I came in with like almost a 4.0, and then I got to school, and then. Of course, I didn't know why I wanted to be there. I was there for all the wrong reasons. I didn't want to go there. So I got there, and I partied a lot. I was in a fraternity. I took sports medicine, which was great. Some of the stuff I learned in kinesiology and stuff has come back and has helped me with building these suits and understanding how the human body works. The stuff I took in anatomy and stuff. Helps with all of this, but I still didn't really know why I wanted to be there, so I was there for all the wrong reasons. So I was depressed while I was there. I was sad while I was there. I met a couple good friends. I had a good time. I partied a lot and had a lot of fun, but it was not really for me. And then things got bad. I fell in love with someone, and I like to explain it as like I'm like a laser beam. I'm like this huge amount of energy that I can direct at things. And then because I didn't have anything to direct it towards, a lot of it was just kind of shooting different directions, and I was partying a lot, and then I kind of met this girl, and it got hung up on her, and I was directed towards her, and it was just this crazy love, and it was on again, off again, on again, off again, and then what happened is I had a Title IX investigation against me. If you guys don't know what a Title IX investigation is, it was like the anti-rape thing that they did on campuses, and it was impossible for colleges to get government funding, federal funding, if they didn't have a Title IX program set up. It was set up during the Obama administration. I didn't know any of this, by the way, when this happened. So what happened is I was accused of stalking my ex-girlfriend. I didn't stalk her. I was acquitted of everything at the end of all this, but what happened is she was studying abroad, and I was a very passionate person, and I was in love with her, and she was in love with me, but it was on again, off again. It was a terribly unhealthy relationship, and I flew over there to try to get her back, and her dad heard about it, and he called my school, Colorado State University, called their police department, and then they were required by law to do an investigation. And if you're not familiar with Title IX, it was supposed to be an anti-rape law, but it was really based on a bunch of garbage. And listen, I thought about sugarcoating this. I'm like, should I sugarcoat this and try to be nice, or should I tell the truth? The truth is that Title IX is really fucked up. Fortunately, I think Trump got rid of parts of it. The problem is it was based on some not true things. There were some ideas that like 1 in 3 women were being raped on college campuses, but the way they were defining rape was by asking people if they've ever fucked someone and then regretted it after. So the way they measured it, regret equaled rape, which is just not true. It's just absolutely not true. Anyway, it was designed to combat the rape on college campuses, but the rape wasn't really happening. So it ended up just getting a lot of kind of innocent people in trouble, and probably didn't really do anything of value. Very little of value. Probably did a lot more harm than good. And the reason I say that, and the reason I can say that with confidence, is because it did stuff like put the burden of proof on the accused. So what happened to me when I got accused of this, I had to go in and prove that I was innocent. They didn't have to prove I was guilty. I had to go prove that I was innocent. So I ended up, I spoke with the school, and then what I tried to do is which was not smart, but I tried to talk to her father and explain myself, and he didn't talk to me at all. He just contacted the police department again, and then they told me that I had broken some kind of thing, like I wasn't allowed to do that, which they didn't tell me beforehand. But they told me that, and then they told me that if I came onto my college campus, they would arrest me. So this was the lowest I've ever been. I was depressed. I was alcoholic. I remember waking up one morning, and I couldn't sleep in my bed because it reminded me of her. So I slept on the couch downstairs, and I slept, and I had a bottle of whiskey with me, and I drank until I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and then I poured myself a drink, and I kept drinking, and my roommate, who was a good buddy of mine at the time, came down. He's like, how you doing, buddy? You don't look good. And I wasn't good. I was really low. Fortunately, I had loving parents, and we talked about it with my buddy's advice, and we figured out that the best thing for me to do was to go travel, to get me out and to go do something else. So I left, and I went to 2 different continents. I went to 16 countries, and I went to 16 countries in 3 months. I went Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and southeastern part of Europe, and it was an amazing trip. And I want to read a quote from Joe Rogan. So there's this quote by Joe Rogan, and it's, "I love a successful story, but even more than a successful story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and gets his life together again story." What I think is interesting about this quote, and it's another thing I learned from reading the book about Elon Musk, is that you have to have some kind of strife in your life, because from that fire is what is going to make you successful. So to me, I had gone down this path that I shouldn't have been on. I shouldn't have been in school, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was something I had to do. I had to go do this in order to figure out where I wanted to go. But in a way, it was a really terrible thing that happened to me, but in another way, it was one of the best things I think that could have happened to me, because even though it made my life much more difficult, it also has given my life much more direction, because I was broken. I was this broken man. I was the shell of myself. I was nothing. But I really wasn't that great of a person before then. I really didn't know who I wanted to be and what I was doing. So by going out and being broken and then being thrown into the world, literally into the world, and going and seeing stuff like going to Israel and Palestine and just in Southeast Asia, and going and seeing these things that seem so far away, and seeing that they're tangible, while in the midst of all this break and rebuilding myself. And also I read my favorite book at the time, which is Mastery by Robert Greene. All these things were going on in my life at once, and I was formulating these ideas, and I was thinking about what I wanted to be. And then from my past, from where I built these wings and what I had always wanted to do, this started to come back up. This started to come back up, and all of this angst and everything that all the broken parts of me, this is what came back, and I started to realize this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that no one else could do. And I took that dispersed laser that was all over the place, and I took it and I started to focus it. And I thought about it for a while, and then eventually I sat down, I wrote it down in a journal, and I remember it was on Halloween in Jerusalem. I was sitting there, and I was in my hostel, and I was writing it down. I was writing down all these ideas I had. While everyone else was getting drunk and partying, I still had a drink with me, but I wasn't with everyone else. I was sitting there, I was writing down in this journal my first ideas of how I was going to build some super suits. It was an idea for a composite armor that I had been messing around with. And then on that day, I decided this is what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And then, so how do I get to Iron Man? Because I've talked about Buzz Lightyear, and I've talked about Master Chief. What about Iron Man? Believe it or not, when I first saw Iron Man, I wasn't completely taken with it. I had liked other superheroes better. I had liked Batman. Actually, the reason I liked Batman is because he seemed doable. He seemed possible. In fact, the reason I studied ninjutsu is because of some throwaway line in the Batman Begins movies. They use the word ninjutsu. I'm like, ooh, ninjutsu, that looks cool. And I looked it up, and I found a school, and I did it. I'm like, this is fucking so much better than Taekwondo. And I did it. And I had even considered being Batman for a while too. But then the main reason I didn't do that is not because I was afraid of going to jail, but honestly because I think there's problems with the system, and I think a lot of people that are criminals, even though I don't really care about people that are killing innocent people, and I want to care about fucking them up, I don't think they're the problem. I think the problem is unjust laws. Anyway, I digress. Iron Man, when I first saw it, seemed impossible. Like, being Master Chief seems more reasonable than being Iron Man. But then, when I was sitting down, I was deciding that, and like the first time, I liked the movie when I first saw it, but I wasn't like obsessed with it the way I get obsessed about some movies. But as I was sitting in that hostel in Jerusalem, thinking about this, and kind of as I was working through this idea, I realized if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to go do something crazy, something impossible, let's pick the most impossible thing to do. Being Iron Man, as far as building a super suit, is the most difficult one to do, because he is bulletproof and amazingly strong and can fly at the speed of sound. And it's the flying at the speed of sound one that has really gotten me. I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but at some point I decided, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the most complicated, the most almost impossible one to do. I'm going to break the speed of sound in a suit. Because if I can do that, I am truly a superhero, and I have truly done something that should be impossible. And that's what I want to do. I want to do something inspiring. I want to do something hard. If I'm going to set myself towards something, I want to set myself towards something amazing. And so I've essentially, all of what I'm doing here, this is all, I've really put myself all around, my entire life around this one shot from the first Iron Man movie. And it's this shot right here. This shot of him flying through the air, breaking the speed of sound, is my life's mission. I'm trying to build a suit that can break the speed of sound. And I loved all of it. I like the pressure shock wave coming off of him. I want that. I want that pressure shock. I want to be able to shoot. I want to be moving through the air so fast that you're actually visibly able to see that. That right there is the money shot. If you ever see me get that shot, I have succeeded. That is what I want out of my life. And I want it more really than anything else. I want it so bad. I mean, I work so much anyway, and I have migraines, and I probably shouldn't be the kind of person that is doing something so hard, but really should anyone. When I left and I went and traveled, there's something inside me broke, but it released so much more out of me. From that strife came this incredible drive to do something crazy. I don't believe in free will. I think it's something that it's an idea that doesn't really hold up to academic rigor. What I do believe in is destiny. More in the sense that things are going to happen, but I also believe it's my destiny to do this. I believe this is what I'm destined to do. And I think it's going to be hard, and it's going to be difficult, and I'm going to be very tired after doing it. But I think it's the reason I'm here on Earth. I know that's heavy shit, but I really do believe that. I really do believe that's the reason I'm here. The reason that I'm alive is to do this crazy, crazy thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm here to do it. So if you are watching this for the first time, if you're new to my channel, like and subscribe, or just subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to, because I'm gonna do some crazy, crazy shit, and I'm gonna blog every day right now until I build the non-powered Mark 1, but that's just because I wanted to give myself a somewhat reasonable first step of daily blogging. There's a good chance that I'm probably gonna do this until I break the speed of sound, because I think it'll be a very interesting record of me doing this crazy historical thing. And I want people to be able to see it. I want people to be inspired by what I do. So, come along for this adventure. This is a little bit of a different video. Mostly it's not me doing this. It's mostly me building. I mean, most of this channel is about me building Iron Man suits. So it's a lot more technical and a lot less talk than this usually. Now, if you watch this, you know exactly who I am. You know exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so that'll hopefully give some guidance or some direction around what you see me building, what you see me doing every day, and give you some reason for why I am doing what I'm doing. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. We have more videos to come. In fact, we have a video every day. So